translation because of time crunch. I'm going to skip and just read the last one. That's a 11th one, Falashruti. One who carefully reads these 10 nectar verses describing Srila Govardhana, the king of mountains, will very soon reside near that blissful hill and quickly attain the precious jewel of the service to the handsome divine couple. Sharing back the presentation. You can see there is a picture Govardhanila. This is a picture of real Govardhana in Vrindavan Dham. Shri Giridhari Govardhan ki jai. So, if you see in the Bhagavatam perspective, so this is like chapter 24, 25, 26, 27. Before this pastime, just before this pastime, Krishna, the day actually goes to forest where he actually is grazing cows, and he goes to actually this is a new area for the forest. He goes to that place that day, and then he actually blesses Brahmana wives there. That's the 23rd chapter talking about that one. So he's actually quickly finished that one. He goes and asks, there are Brahmanas who are doing different sacrifices for the Lordship only. But when Lord Krishna and Balram goes and then they feel hungry, then they ask all Balagopalas, go and ask for prasadam that we are hungry, so that Brahmanas gave you something. But the Gopas goes and ask for some prasadam for Krishna. They say, we are busy, we don't give anything, just go away. That's what they say. Then they come back and tell Krishna. Then Krishna says, now go and ask the Brahmana wives that Krishna and Balram are very hungry, please give something. Then they go and ask this time the wives of Brahmanas. Then Brahmana wives immediately respond to that one. They keep everything. They were actually assisting the Brahmanas doing the sacrifice. But then they leave everything there without assisting the Brahmanas. They actually go and whatever the prasadam is there, they immediately pack and go rush to Krishna. And then they serve Krishna. So this is the love actually like Krishna is expecting from anyone. Whatever you do, Sarva Dharman Parijya, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Leave everything aside and just surrender unto me. That's what Krishna is saying. When you do that kind of surrender, then Krishna is going to reciprocate. So that's how Lord Krishna blessed the Brahmana wives. Then after that evening, as usual, by the time 5 or 6, they come back to home. So as he usually came that evening, he came back to home. By the time he was at home, there are elderly people of the village town, and the Nanda Maharaja's courtyard, right? Courtyard. That long, that days there used to be courtyards. It's a big time there. All the elderly people used to come and sit, right? So they were discussing something religious event. They want to do some religious activity, looks like. So Krishna comes and sees, oh, what's happening? Something actually important to discussion happening. Being Krishna as a Paramatma in everybody's heart, he knows what's happening, everything, but he wants to follow the social norm, and he goes and asks the elderly people of the discussion, right? He goes, Uncle Ji, what's happening? It looks like you all are discussing something important matter. What's happening? I want to know. Then they'll say that, don't worry. This is a elderly matter. So don't worry about this one. You please go and play something, whatever you like with your friends. That's what everybody is trying to convince Krishna. Oh, finally, then he goes to Nanda Baba. Nanda Baba is Lord Krishna's father. Nanda Baba is actually also the king of that whole Vrindavana villages. So Krishna goes and asks, Baba, what's happening here? I asked everyone, but nobody is responding. I want to hear from you. Naturally, Nanda Maharaj also tried to avoid him. But naturally, when kid comes to the father and say persistently, Papa, can you please give me something, that one, this one, right? So then naturally the fathers with parental affection, they actually respond, right? So Nanda Maharaj also first he tries to convince, but then Krishna persists. He also says, Papa, Sadhujan, they don't actually neglect something important information to share. You are being a sadhu, you should not neglect this matter. That's what he says. And also, it's not that like, no, I am also like, growing up in this family. I am the future person who is actually going to conduct all these kind of religious activities, whatever you have to perform. So you need to tell this time now itself. Then Nanda Maharaj responds and he says, we are actually being Pashupalakas. We are actually Gopalaks, right? We take care of cows, and cows give some milk and various other products. And also we do uh, farming. With the farming, we get all the seeds, grains and everything, right? So that's all this comes because of the rains. So the rains are given by Lord Indra. So then to satisfy him, we are doing a sacrifice to satisfy Lord Indra. We are going to do sacrifice. So that's what we are preparing for. Then Krishna says, oh, I know that you all are doing, you are taking care of cows and you are feeding, grazing, and all those things happening. But why, how come Krishna, Lord Indra came into the picture? Or how come what he is doing? Why do we need to worship him? That's what Krishna argues. Then Nanda Maharaj says, yeah, but he is the in charge of rains. That's the reason we need to offer him. But Krishna says, no, you are doing this. It tries to actually talk karma mimamsa philosophy. Where, of course, Krishna also doesn't accept, but he's trying to convince his father in that way that you are doing action. Whatever action you do, you get result. So if you do good job, then of course, naturally you get good result. Then why do you need to worship Indra? You don't need to worship. That's what he tries to convince. But Nandamara also same way. He's also like, learned person, being learned person. He says, of course, we are doing karma, but whatever karma we are doing, someone has to account it. Someone has to in charge of that one. Oh, you did this one, so that you will get this kind of benefit. So some in charge is there. So we need to take care of that in charge also. That's what we are doing this particular yajna. That's what they say. Then, but Krishna doesn't leave. Krishna doesn't leave. Like, no, you don't need to actually serve Indra. If you have to serve anyone, if you want to do any sacrifice, you should do actually serve Govardhan Giri, because Govardhan Giri is the one who is giving everything to us for sustenance, including grass, or there are various trees. We go and graze our cows there, and our cows is nice grass there. You get all kind of foods and fruits, everything. So if you have to do any sacrifice, it's better to do Govardhana, not to Indra. He persists that one. But Nanda Maharaj says, okay, that's all right. We'll do Govardhan also, but let's do this time actually for Lord Indra, so that then after the next time we can do Govardhan. But Krishna is very persisting. He says, no way of worshipping Lord Indra. You should do worship only Govardhan. So Krishna wants to point out two things here. He wanted to convey two messages in this particular discussion. That he says, you don't need to actually, the two messages Krishna is, once you surrender to Krishna, you don't need to go to any demigod, because demigods are my agents. So if you worship me, it's naturally they also get benefit. They also do their job properly. So once you worship Lord Krishna, if you surrender to Lord Krishna, you don't need to worship any demigod. That's a message he wanted to pass to all the Gopalas, or for all the devotees, right? So finally, he convinces, and I think there is one more point here is Lord Indra is actually becoming that in very exalted position. He's also become very proud. So he is thinking that I am the supreme controller. That's a state he actually reached. So he wanted to teach a lesson to Lord Indra also, that you are the not controller, I am the controller. So he wanted to teach that lesson. So these two things actually wanted to convey the message to the devotees. So then finally, with argument, after multiple arguments, discussion, Nanda Maharaj agrees, okay, we'll do only Govardhan Puja. So we never did that Govardhan Puja. How should we do this one? Is there any procedure? Is there any granthas or are there any books that are talking about this one? Then Krishna says, there is nothing different. Whatever you are doing, same sacrifice, whatever doing to Indra, the same sacrifice you should do. You should dress up nicely and cook various, elaborately cook various food items. And we should go there and do puja to Govardhan, then offer all these food offerings. Then after that, we should do circumambulance, and that ends our puja. That's what he says. So then one fine day, they decide go for the Govardhan Puja. So all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they prepare various food items like sweet items and hot items, roti, rice, sabji, so many items. If you see Vrindavan this day, the Vrindavan is like, as I told earlier, it's like 23 miles of sphere, right? So usually circumambulation happens around the Govardhan. That's like 23 miles of distance. So the Govardhan Giri, this day, all the devotees across around that place, Vrindavan devotees and from various countries and from various towns, people go, devotees go there and offer food offerings to Govardhan. So you don't find any space without a food offering on that hill. So that elaborately devotees do. So on that day also, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they prepare various, elaborately prepares all the food items. Then they take to Govardhan. Then after going Govardhan, they ask Krishna, then what should we do? Then he says, okay, these Brahmanas are going to, so the discussion actually basically happened. Let's skip this one. So the Brahmanas actually need to recite some mantras. While after that one, all the gopikas, they bring all the prasadam, basically food offerings, and offer to Govardhanji. So elaborately then offer, then after that one, Krishna asks, everybody please close your eyes, then pray for Lord Govardhan that please accept these offerings. When everybody closes their eyes, then Krishna transforms as Govardhan. That means Krishna is a 7 years old, is still staying there, but he enters, he also enters into Govardhan, and he starts accepting the prasadam, that whatever offerings is made, then he started accepting that one. So there are like an elaborated items. The Krishna is actually as a Govardhan, just finishing one bowl at a time. So all the bowls are finished within no time. Then he started asking again, give me more. So he started saying that Aniyor. Aniyor means in Braja language, it is like, give me more. So with Aniyor name, there is also a village also formed there around the Govardhan. So he's calling more and more. Then Krishna, being a 7 years old, he asking, please bring more prasadam. He is very hungry, so he should bring more and more. Then devotees go and bring more and more prasadam and offer to Govardhan. As they are bringing, he is just finishing off everything. So then one elderly person, being a very experienced person, he knows how to handle this situation. So then he says, one of the gopis, please take one of the tulsi leaf and offer to Govardhan. Then we'll see what happens. So then they bring and offer tulsi leaf. As soon as they offer tulsi leaf, then Krishna gets satisfied. Because tulsi is a very dearest, right? The moment Krishna, tulsi is offered to Krishna, he gets satisfied. So then after that, then what is the next step? Then Krishna says, being 7 years old, he says, now is the time to do circumambulance. So then everybody goes around the river, the Govardhan Giri. They do circumambulance. Usually, like circumambulating that mountain, it takes around 5 to 6 hours. So they do that one, and after that they will have prasadam, and nicely they also play things like that. Then after the evening, they go back to their homes. So after going home, this is one side it's happening. The other side, whereas Indra is supposed to get this sacrifice, right? Then he was observing what's happening here. These people supposed to offer me everything, but I don't see that's happening. Rather, these people are hearing the small boy, the 7 years old boy, and they are following whatever he is saying. So how come these people are very ignorant? I wanted to teach lesson. That's what he thinks, because he's supposed to get the sacrifice, but it is given to the Govardhan Giri. This is Krishna was actually after the circumambulating. This is a picture actually real Govardhan from various directions. These pictures are taken. If you see the last picture, that's actually path to do parikrama around the Govardhan. So then Indra gets furious. So why, these guys are, I need to teach a lesson to these people. so that they do the right thing. So that's what he thinks. He is thinking that I'm the supreme controller, so they should worship me. That's what he was thinking. Then he immediately calls. He wanted to destroy the whole Vrindavan, all the villages, and he wants even kill everyone. That's his plan. So then he calls actually Samvardhaka clouds. So the clouds, right? Like yesterday it was raining heavily here, if you observe, right? If you see that one, wow, something is really going to happen there, right? So those are actually normal clouds. They are nothing compared to Samvardhaka clouds. Samvardhaka clouds are something like which are invoked only when destruction happens. So when destruction happens, the annihilation happens once actually in Sandhi between two yugas. Right now we are in the Dwapara Yuga, right? Sorry, in Kali Yuga, right? The before this one Yuga is Dwapara Yuga. So between two yugas, there will be Sandhi. It's not immediately going to start as a new yuga. So between that period actually is called annihilation period, where some destruction happens. It happens, this particular destruction or annihilation happens in various Sandhis. So one of the Sandhis between two yugas, and also 4 yugas together is called one Mahayuga. We have Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, then before that is called Treta Yuga, before that is called Satya Yuga. So these 4 yugas together is called one Mahayuga. Between two Mahayugas also there is a big Sandhi. That time also destruction happens. So what does it mean, destruction? Destruction means it could be any calamity. Sorry? Yeah, things falling apart is one of them. Yes. And all, earthquake is one of the calamity. And water, flooding, all those things are one of the calamity, right? So these Samvardhaka clouds also very dangerous clouds. So these are invoked when actual, can we do at the end questions? Okay. So these are called only during that time. Okay. Since, what's the time? 21, let's finish on that. So Samvardhaka clouds are called, these are very dangerous clouds. So Lord Indra says, so go and finish off the Vrindavan villages. So they are actually offending me. So you should go and finish off this one. Even Samvardhaka clouds are also get shocked. Why Indra is calling me now? We are supposed to call it during the Sandhi or destruction time. They also double confirming. Should we really go this time? Okay, then Indra says yes. You should go and complete the whole vanish of all villages. So then they go and they hear and go and then start raining heavily. So then all the villages are flooding with water. Then all the Gopalas and Gopikas, they are terrified. What's happening here? I think Indra got angry. Or he started actually started destroying us. So then everybody runs and to Krishna, Nanda Maharaj's home. Krishna lives in Nanda Maharaj's home, right? So everybody goes there and call Krishna, please protect us, serve us. So we heard your whatever you said. You said don't worship Lord Indra and ask to worship Govardhan. Now you see Indra became very angry and he started pouring rain, and it's going to distract anytime soon. Then Krishna comes and says that don't worry. Since we have prayed Govardhan Giri, let's also take shelter at Govardhan itself. Let's all go to Govardhan and see what we can do there. So all the villagers, then they go along with the Krishna. How come they are actually hearing Krishna is being 7 years old? So they got already experienced it. They have been seeing one after one so many pastimes where Krishna at the age of 2 he killed Putana. At the age of 1 he killed Shakatasura. So many Agasura, so many he also swallowed fire, forest fire, right? So various pastimes they know that Krishna is a normal person, is not a normal person. So that's the reason they believe in him, whatever he say. So then they all go to Govardhan. Then after going Govardhan, what does Krishna do? He just lifts the whole Govardhan in his left hand, then takes on his pinky. So then stylishly he takes his right hand and puts on his waist like this. Very heroic pose, right? So then he asks all the villagers, now you please come and take shelter of Govardhan. So as if an umbrella, big umbrella lifted, right? So when it's raining, we go around, we take shelter of umbrella. Now they are taking shelter of the big umbrella, Govardhan, right? So then Krishna calls. Some of them are actually very trusted to Krishna. They all go under Govardhan. Some of them are still hesitating. Should we go? Then what happens if it falls down? Something like that. After going, some of the people, then the remaining also go, because there is no way other way there, right? They have to get shelter. So everybody goes under the Govardhan ji. So Govardhan Lila ki jai. So now Krishna is holding. Krishna, how old was Krishna at that time? So 7 years old, right? So 7 years old Krishna was lifting that Govardhan, right, on his pinky. Then this days passing. Actually, it's not 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, 7 days, 7 nights. Krishna was holding the Govardhan. So then there are a lot of things happening. Everybody's. This is the, like, I was telling, right. This is the place where all the devotees, like, parents, elderly persons, gopalas, gopikas, everybody is actually enjoying. They are seeing Lord face to face, and they are enjoying transcendental bliss. So they are very happy. Actually, they are singing, dancing, and having discussions, and so many things they are doing as if they went to picnic. Like, they are in dangerous space, but they forget about the dangerous thing. They are doing a picnic there. So they are having fun, all kind of things they are doing. They are looking Krishna. And once in a while, like, the Govardhan is also jerking a little bit like this, right? So then everybody is worried what's happening. So Mother Yashoda is thinking that, oh, maybe Lord Krishna, my Kanna did not eat anything for many days. I think he's feeling hungry and he became weak, and that's the reason the Govardhan is shaking a little bit. That's what motherly affection, right? She was thinking, I should feed my son. I think he's becoming, this is called rasa, actually. That's a parental affection you are doing with Krishna. That's what Krishna reciprocates, right? Similarly, the elderly people also thinking like, oh, I think Krishna is maybe tiring. I think we should support. So they have, usually Gopalas has all the sticks, right? Big sticks to graze the cows. So everybody comes with their sticks. Okay, Krishna, you take rest. Then we put our sticks. Then, we can hold for some time. Oh, is it? Okay, let's do that. Then put your sticks. There everybody puts their sticks, and then Krishna tries to remove his support a little bit, just like this. Then all the sticks gets broken into pieces. Then all the Gopalas realize, no, please support it, give the support, right? So then Krishna again takes charge. So that's how, everybody is actually having different relationship. But the Acharya says that actual reason is different why the Govardhan is jerking sometimes, right? So Krishna is, I already told, right? He's a nicely very put like this, hero. So all his girlfriends are there. All gopis, and especially Radharani is there. So he's thinking what my girlfriends are thinking, he's looking like this, he's looking at like this. Oh, what Radharani is thinking of me. So that time, actually, since he's bending a little bit, there's a jerk happening. So that's what is happening. That's the reason jerk is happening. That's what Acharyas say. So anyway, this is how, all the 7 days, 7 nights passed. All 7 days, 7 nights passed. Then Indra is thinking, I think now the time, actually, everything might have been vanished. So then I think these guys, actually, whoever left over, maybe learn some lesson. This for future decisions, it might be lesson. That's what he thinks. So then he sends agents, can you go and see what's happening there? So agents come and see, oh, there is no one is there in villages. I think everything get vanished. Then they are going around, and then they came to Govardhan. Then they see that there is something picnic happening under Govardhan. But then everybody, the agents get shocked, and they immediately go and report to Lord Indra. That, as you think there is nothing happening there, everybody is doing picnic. So your Samvardhakas did not work. That's what they say. So then Lord Indra becomes, wow, something wrong actually. Looks like I did big offense. I offended Lord Krishna. That must be Lord Krishna only. Otherwise, no one can do this kind of leela. Then he realizes, and he wanted to surrender and ask forgiveness. So he immediately stops all the rains and everything. He calls back all Samvardhakas. He calls back all Samvardhakas, and after 7 days, 7 nights, then all the rain stop. Then Krishna says, I think now everything is settled down. We can go back to home. So that's what Krishna says. Now let's go back home. But the devotees are villagers are not ready to go back home because they are enjoying there. Because 7 days, 7 nights, there is no eating, nothing. But still they are very energetic, very blissful. right? No sleeping, no eating, but everywhere they are very energetic and enjoying without passing a minute, right? Wasting a minute. So they don't want to go back home. They want to stay with Krishna only because Krishna, they are very close to Krishna, right? They want to see Krishna only and enjoy there. They have the bliss. But apparently they have to go back home, right? So then finally they leave and they go back home. Then after that, Lord Indra realizes and he want to take forgiveness, ask forgiveness from Lord Krishna. So if he goes, then Krishna is not going to. If he goes alone, Krishna is not going to leave him. He's going to punish him. That's the reason he thinks Krishna loves cows very much. Maybe I should take cow along with me so that Krishna gets pacified. So then he calls Surabhi. Surabhi is a cow in heavenly planets, which is Kalpataru. Kalpataru, it can produce, it can give anything, right? So he takes that cow along with him and he puts the cow in front of him and then takes forgiveness, asks forgiveness to Krishna, Lord Krishna. Then since he sees cow, then he becomes happy and then he forgives Indra. After forgiving, then Surabhi does abhishek to Lord Krishna. So it directly gives milk and does abhishek, pal abhishek, we say, right? Milk abhishek. After milk abhishek, then they, both Indra and the Surabhi cow, they both do praises, kirtans, and then circumambulate to Krishna, and then take blessings from Krishna, and they leave. So that's how the Govardhan Leela happened. So Giri Govardhan ki jai, Govardhan Leela ki jai. We have already 8:30. Maybe I'll take another 2-3 minutes and close it. So as I said, we know that we are talking about this Govardhana, but who is Govardhana? Some people say that Govardhana is devotee, and some people says Govardhana is Lord himself. Which one is correct? In fact, both are correct. So if you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's thing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord himself, came as a devotee. Right? He has taken mood of Radharani. Radharani is a dearmost devotee of Lord Krishna. Right? So you wanted to, Radharani always enjoys the mood of serving Lord Krishna. So you wanted to actually enjoy the same. How actually Radharani is more happier than me? How come, I am the Lord and she's a devotee. I must be very happy. How come Radharani is happy? I want to enjoy that mood. That's the reason it takes the mood of Radharani and comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years back in Mayapur. So that's how he is also devotee, because he is doing the devotional service, but he is Lord himself. So similarly, in Govardhana is also Lord Krishna himself, because it is coming from Lord Krishna's heart actually. Then also a devotee. Radharani says in one of the instances, she explains to gopis that Govardhana is actually Haridasa Varya. Haridasa Varya means Haridasa, everybody knows. Hari means Krishna and Dasa means servant. All the devotees usually called Haridasas. But Govardhana is not just Haridasa, is Haridasa Varya. Varya means the best among. So that's what Radharani is telling to gopis. Govardhana is the topmost devotee. We should worship him. That's what Radharani is saying in one of the instances. So, but actually, who is Govardhana? Where is he coming from? There are various shastras talking about different things. In Bhavishya Purana, it talks one day in Golok Vrindavan. I'm talking not in Bhoma Vrindavan. In Golok Vrindavan, Krishna and Radharani were doing some meditation. While doing the meditation, there are 21 effulges, the energies came out of their bodies, and 10 became Govardhana Vanas, the Vrindavana Vanas, and 10 of them became villages of Vrindavan. And one energy became Vrindavan Dham itself. So these 21 energies gone, became different things. And then Krishna's heart and Radharani's heart, they merged together. They form as Govardhan. That's how Bhavishya Purana is talking. And whereas in Garga Samhita, it's a different one talking. Of course, various Samhitas, various Puranas talk various ways of thinking this one, because but these all are also like acceptable, because they talk different pastimes and different time of the period. Because right now we are in the current Brahma, in one universe. There are millions of universes still happening, going around, right? And this Leela, every day it's happening in one of the universe somewhere. So it's not just one place, like we are in the small particle of the whole, like Brahmanda, right? So millions of universes, in million of universes, we are in one universe. Within one universe, there are again so many planets, and within those planets, Earth is one planet. So this is where, like in ineligible somewhere, like negligible person, right? So this one, the Garga Samhita is talking like in Goloka Vrindavana after Rasalila happened. Then Radharani asked Krishna, if you are satisfied with my service, I have a request. So can you please create a place where which can give happiness to us, and we can do Rasalila continuously without any disturbance. Then Krishna accepts that one. Then Krishna puts his hand on his heart, and then a small stone forms in his hand. Then no time the stone grows and grows. It grows in such a way that it also reaches a stage where 100 shikhas are happened on the top of that mountain. That level it grows. Then Krishna stops. Hold on, now this is enough. So that's how, like Govardhana formed. That's one of the Samhita says. So, and also there is one more saying, but I will skip that one because of that time crunch. Visiting this Govardhana and doing the parikrama is very important. It has a lot of spiritual benefits. Even our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everybody is actually in their time, they were actually referring Govardhana many times. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to live in Puri, Jagannath Puri. He used to worship, actually. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is having Govardhana, he used to worship every day. In fact, he was actually worshipping his Govardhana until his last minute. So before he is leaving this mortal world, he actually gifts that particular Govardhana to some devotee. Can anyone guess who is given to? It's none other than Raghunath Das Goswami. We sang song right in the starting. So it actually gifted to Raghunath Das Goswami. Later he moves to Vrindavana, then he worships continuously the Govardhana. Govardhan Shila also is living close to Govardhan Giri. Even Prabhupada also very much talks about Govardhana Puja. So in fact, actually, when he was in his last days in Vrindavana, he was actually, before leaving this mortal world, Prabhupada is in Vrindavana. He was not able to get up from the bed. So that's the situation he was in. But in Kartik Mas, he wanted to have Govardhana Parikrama on this day. But he asked devotees. I think that time Tamal Krishna Maharaj was actually taking care of Srila Prabhupada. He asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj, I want to go for parikrama. Can you arrange? Then Tamal Krishna Maharaj and all other devotees says, no, you can't move in this situation. You are very weak. Your body does not support. In that case, arrange a bulla card. They can go in the bulla card around the parikrama. But even for that also, Tamal Krishna Maharaj does not accept. Then he says, then in that case, you all do the parikrama, then give the benefit to me. So that way, Tamal Krishna Maharaj and other devotees go and do the parikrama and give the result to Prabhupada. So that's the importance of Prabhupada gives actually. Even these days, every year, this time, Kartik Mas, they take, all the devotees take Prabhupada Murti and go for the parikrama. So that's the importance they give for the parikrama. And also like, let's not do that one. But there are like, by doing parikrama, what are the benefits? Some of the benefits are there. I just want to tell. So one time doing the parikrama is equivalent to 1,000 times of fasting on Janmashtami day. So 1,000 times of Janmashtami day fasting. How many Janmashtamis we went through so far? I went through only 40 plus. So in our lifetime, how many we can do? At most 100, right? But they are saying like 1,000 times of fasting on Janmashtami day. Is it possible? Not possible. But why? Just doing one time parikrama around Govardhana, you will get that benefit. And it is also saying like 5,000 years of tapas in Kedarnath also give the same benefit. And it also says, seeing Govardhana, like, on Janmashtami day, if you are in Madura, or on Ramanavami day, if you are in Ayodhya, so the same benefit you get once you see one time darshan of Govardhana. And it's not just that, and also like all the Punya Kshetras around the world, visiting all the Punya Kshetras equivalent to one time one darshan of Govardhana. That's the equivalent benefit it's giving. So, and on top of it, all the devotees who hear the Govardhana Leela this day, on this day, they are guaranteed to go back home Godhead. So we all heard Govardhana Leela today, right? So we are guaranteed to go back. Jai Govardhana Leela ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, devotees, for patiently hearing. Here I conclude. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Someone have some question? Don't have any more? Nice. Anyone else? Correct. Yes. Yeah. It's not going to be the same as it is. Not like cookie cut, but things change. Some like the actors might change. So every time, whenever Krishna comes to Boma, look, he comes along with his party, all his friends. But two things are guaranteed to come. One is Govardhana and one is Yamuna. These two are mandatorily come. But the various actors would change, and then there will be little bit difference. So Krishna comes only once in Brahma's day. Dwapar Yuga, of course, Brahma's day, right? As we discussed, there are 4 yugas in Mahayuga. So in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna comes, but Krishna doesn't come in all Dwapar Yugas as it is. So there is a various versions of Krishna's different expansions. So they also call Krishna, but one day of Brahma is like, we know, right? How many years? One day, like, if you take one Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. And 2 times to that one is 864,000 is Dwapar Yuga. 3 times to that one is Treta Yuga, and 4 times to that one Satya Yuga. So if you add all of them, it's like 43 lakhs years, 4.3 million years, right? 4.3 million years is one Mahayuga. And such 1,000 Mahayugas is a day of Brahma. So day of Brahma, and there's a day of night also, same number of years. So that way, like, one day is like that much of time, right? So, but Lord Krishna comes as it is only in one day, only one time. So we are so fortunate, actually. Krishna came as it is just like 5,000 years back. That's how we are able to remember Krishna very much. We are so fortunate to have actually take birth this time of the period. But some devotees might have taken like birth in previous Dwapar Yuga. They are not much exposed to Krishna Tattva. We are so fortunate, actually. That's the reason we should not miss this opportunity. We should definitely take this opportunity and do your sadhana as much as possible and go back home, back to Godhead. Yeah. Very bold. Yes. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Hari Bol, Govardhan Leela ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone.
That was a great lecture by Radha Vinod Prabhu. Thank you very much. And for a thank you note, we would love to thank you to taking us to Govardhan himself with the pictures of the beautiful real Govardhan. And we would also like to thank you for making us recite along with you the Govardhan Vasa Prarthana Dashakam. So we were all able to glorify Govardhan on this auspicious day of Govardhan Puja.
Actually, I missed showing some pictures. Busy with Katha. So this is a picture where Indra coming asking for forgiveness, and these are like a Govardhan Shilas, actually worshipped in various temples across the world. And this one is very familiar, must be familiar to you all, because this is very close by our place. This is a temple in Houston. So they have Govardhan Shila. They worship Govardhan Shila. So if you are fortunate, sometime you can go and visit that. So yeah. Jai.
Lastly, I'd like to announce our sponsors for Diwali and Govardhan celebrations. For Diwali, our altar decoration, we have Grishma Reddy and family. Prasadam distribution and supplies is Seema Chola and family. Aarti is Grishma Reddy and family. For Govardhan Puja, we have altar decoration by Satyarupa Gaurangadas and Rasamaya Devidasi. Prasadam distribution and supplies by Grishma Reddy and family. Aarti Puja K Mataji and family. Gayatri Mataji and family. Jai Subhadra Mataji and Satyasara Prabhu. Shiva Prabhu and Jyoti Mataji. And Giri Govardhan decoration is Radha Vinod Prabhu and Nirmala Mataji. Also, Suvarna Manjari Mataji and Rahul Prabhu sponsored $1,008 for both days' festivals. Another fundraising, as you know, the Hare Krishna Temple of Austin is growing. Our temple and their lordships require more space and facilities in order to better serve our greater Austin community. The temple welcomes heartfelt donations to expand the hall and build Radharani's commercial kitchen. Please feel free to talk to Anu, Satyasara Prabhu, or Jai Subhadra Mataji if you would like to come forward. This is the most auspicious month of Kartik, Radharani's month. So any spiritual activities like donating towards building the temple will benefit you and your families multifold. And thank you all so much for coming to the temple today for our Govardhan and Diwali celebrations. We have the Prabhupada's Appearance Day program on Friday evening online. So feel free to talk to Satyasara Prabhu and Anu to get more details on the Zoom link. And we have Govardhan again outside. Feel free to do parikrama as we have all decorated decorated the mountain, and feel free to collect your prasadam on your way out. Hare Krishna.